This is Feature Mine, and in this video we're gonna discuss Moon Knight and if there's any clues in there to pick up on. And so basically, this is a Marvel series that is out, and so in the movie, the main character, he was a regular guy, and he had got beat up pretty bad. He was about to pass away actually, and he stumbled into a room in the pyramids, and he ended up laying next to a statue as he was passing. The statue ended up talking to him and trying to make a deal with him, talking about, if you take this deal, we can get you healed up and you're going to be more powerful than ever. So the character ended up taking this deal, and that's how he got his powers to become Moon Knight. And so right away we see the clues about how these entities can live in statues and humanoid type artifacts. We've seen depictions of people worshiping statues, and then remember the golden calf story where Moses came down, people were worshiping a golden calf, which was probably Molech, which was a humanoid calf. So we don't know if that's who they were worshiping, but we saw depictions of people worshiping statues, and so now we see that there could be something to that, where these statues could have entities in them. There's some true stories about Annabelle and Robert the Doll, where these two dolls had entities in them, and they spent time trying to get into real bodies though, and they ended up trying to possess their owner's body. And so we see that's a big clue then, and that is something that actually takes place. So also we see some more clues in this movie, because it wasn't just the Moon Knight character that made a deal with the entities, these ancient Egyptian entities. There was others that also did the same thing, and they didn't know each other, but they would meet up in secret rooms. And in the Moon Knight series, you would see all these people from different walks of life coming into this room to discuss powerful things about leading the world and ruling the world. And you can clearly see that these people were possessed. That wasn't the actual people meeting, it was the entities in them that was meeting. So we see right away that's a clue of how the secret societies work. I believe a lot of these secret societies do the same thing, and the people in the secret societies make deals with entities, and it influences them to take positions of power throughout the world, and they end up ruling the world with these entities. And they may have their meetings, but it's not just so. There's non-human entities that are meeting up and making decisions in our lives as leaders of the free world. So that type of stuff, I believe, does take place. And we also see clues like that in the movie They Live, where the guy, he put his glasses on and he could see the entities, and they were like judges, politicians, lawyers, all types of high position power like that. So we see they were non-human beings living inside of humans, or disguised as humans. But it makes more sense that they would be depicted like how Moon Knight was showing us, how they're regular people that just happen to make deals with entities. And these entities weren't just like Annabelle and Robert the Doll, where they were just trying to take out people the whole time. No, these entities were trying to organize in a structured way and rule the world that way. And so another clue they show us in the Moon Knight series is, well, there was a moment when the main Moon Knight character, he wasn't in his Moon Knight form, and he ended up getting shot. Then he wakes up and opens his eyes in a psychiatric hospital, in an insane asylum, and there's the guy in front of him is the guy who shot him, and he's saying, no, you've been here for a long time, and you're delusional. You made up a previous life that you were some type of Egyptian explorer, and he is trying to tell the main character that his whole previous life was just made up, and he's just insane. and that basically nothing had happened in the everything that happened previously in the film never happened. He's trying to tell him that you've been here the whole time. So he didn't buy it though. He said, "No, you shot me." He said, so basically he's trying to figure out what's going on. He couldn't have been that much out of it to make up a whole world like that, he's thinking. But yeah, they were really trying to convince him that he's just insane. So, but then he starts seeing little clues around in the hospital, little artifacts, like Egyptian artifacts and stuff. And then it's kind of like in a dream where you start picking up on stuff. If you dream, you can pick up on stuff sometimes and realize you're dreaming. And then so this guy in the movie in the Moon Knight started picking up on things, and he started realizing, no, he said, this can't be an insane asylum. He said something else is going on here. Then he ended up meeting this guy that explained to him, no, yeah, you have passed on. You're in the underworld. The guy that had told him, like, you're not alive anymore. Like I said, there's spoilers, so this is a spoiler part, but the guy was telling him that, yeah, you're not alive right now. You're in the underworld, and you had made up this whole place. Your mind had made up this place for you while you're on your journey to your fate. So he needs to be judged, and a scale of justice has to decide his fate, whether he's going to go to this hellish place or to a paradise place. And so so he had to take all that in, and while the scale was trying to determine where he was going to end up for his fate, he was trying to get back to his body. He's saying, like, why can't I go back to my body and stuff? And the guy had to tell him, like, basically, no, your body's full of bullet holes, and you can't go back to that. You can't go back to that. You're on your way now to pass on. And then you made up this whole place. It was surprised that he made up an insane asylum in his mind. And then so usually people don't make up places like this when they pass, but his mind had made that up for him. So, but he ended up doing something noble. He ended up doing something worthy of a door opening back to his body. So while he was down in the underworld before his fate was sealed, he ended up doing something that got a door open, because it was noble and worthy. And then so he saw that door open, and he was able to run back through that door, and that brought him back into his real life body on Earth. And then he opened his eyes on Earth, and it was like, yeah, he was back. So that's interesting. It was kind of an interesting near-death experience take. It was kind of interesting to see, see that scene. It was very interesting, actually. And so that was another clue, possibly, where, we kind of got to see that part. And then, so basically, the biggest clue I thought was how these leaders were gathered around planning things, and they were actually non-humans. They were actually the fallen ones of these pagan Egyptian pagan gods that were, that are sitting here because God gave mankind dominion over this earth. We're supposed to be the ones in charge of ourselves here, working together, but these fallen ones seem to be intervening in the mix and dealing with people that are willing to accept them. And so we're not just dealing with humans. Then it looks like, I believe that's true, and that's why I thought that was a big clue, because it's just like, that makes sense that these entities have been here since the beginning of civilization throughout Egypt, Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, and in modern society. You can see a lot of their artifacts to this day, like the Washington Monument is actually an obelisk. You can see a lot of the Capitol buildings look like the Roman cathedrals, and you see a lot of symbolism and things, and a lot of societies, secret societies and stuff. So there could be a lot of clues that we could pick up on from that Moon Knight movie. But if you watch it, be aware of there's some scenes I had to mute because they started chanting some weird Egyptian stuff, and so I muted it right away. And so be aware of that if you watch it. But if you did watch it, let me know what you thought about it. As far as what do I grade it, as far as entertainment value, alone. Well, as far as entertainment value, I'll give it about a C plus, maybe a B minus or something. Most likely a C plus though. So yeah, I mean, it was okay. I'm not really too big into series, but I do catch up on some of these Marvel series and stuff. So I thought it was something to check out, especially to see if there's any clues. So let me know what you thought about any of these clues we covered. Let me know if you picked up on any clues, if you watched it, if you watched the series. I'm going to leave a link if you want to join my free email newsletters. Also, I'm accepting $1 donations if you want to help keep Feed Your Mind on YouTube. I'm also going to leave a link to my Feed Your Mind 2 channel. I'm going to be over there dropping videos on other topics I don't cover on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed over there. And I'll also leave links to my social media, plus much more. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.